Hello and welcome everyone to another FPL Jedi Show live stream. This is for FPL Gameweek 2. My name is Hafiz and I would like to welcome my co-host Azmin to the stream. How's your feeling? You're a bit you're having an illness yesterday, right?
Yeah, I'm still sniffing. I kind of caught the flu on Sunday, so yeah, even end up missing in some matches, but I tried to catch some highlights. I'm better now, but still recovering. I need plenty of fluids and trying hard to read some of the updates. But yeah, not that great, but I think I've got enough so we can do this. Yep, still all right.
Right, great stuff. I just want to share that actually we planned to live stream yesterday night. Uh, Yes, Leeds United and Everton has not played yet, but we decided we want to go early. But there has been uh, not well, so we decided okay, we'll take a step back and then decide see how's the Leeds Everton turns out to be and the result. Maybe unexpected. Leeds won 1-0 against Everton. Grealish did not start that game. But in the end, we do expect some clean sheet or attack rating for Everton, except but they do blank and Leeds become the victorious team from yesterday match. For that result, I mean Leeds United versus Everton. Are you surprised with that?
Not really. I don't trust Everton, so with all the hype going about picking NDIA, I was not surprised that Everton fluffed their lines. To be fair to Moyes, the team does need reinforcements. There's not much change. You got Grealish in there, KDH, but it's looking a bit ragged as well. But never mind. But credit to Leeds United and um I can't remember the last time when two promoted sides won their opening matches of the season. I think it may have been West Ham and some other team. I think in the days of was it Teddy Sheringham, Marlon Harewood, and Matthew Etherington
Oh,
that
oh,
during
wow.
that
It's
time.
been
Oh,
so
oh, wow,
long.
yeah, when two promoted teams won their matches, so totally unexpected. But credit to Leeds and credit to Sunderland, of which you have used Dan Ballard here as
Yep.
as our cover for today. Um, and yeah, I'm really happy you chose that because when I scoured around other YouTube content creators, Ballard's face was not one of the more popular picks. The most popular pick was probably the city guy, the
The
reindeer
Rangers.
guy. Yeah,
You'll
so seeing him plastered over. So, but I'm happy to see Ballard here because he's definitely someone to look at. Um, Former Arsenal player, and looks like he could be one to watch. Although I must say that I think in our previous stream or the stream before I did mention that purchasing Granit Xhaka was great in terms of the leadership abilities and also what he'll bring to the center of that midfield. And yes, he definitely had a hand in the success.
Okay.
But we'll look at it in more detail, I guess. But yeah, so credit to Sutherland.
Yep. Pretty much. I think also important to give a credit or shout out to Barlet, which our cover boy for this stream, is because he's the top scorer for game week 2. I think that's the most important thing. Even though other assets that already get the intention of managers, maybe we can share also 3 players. It's just at the early season thinking 3 players already have prioritization. Okay, despite they did perform. Okay, and then maybe the more popular assets from Man City. You did mention about Reinder.
And
You also can talk about Semenyo, who scored 2 goals against Liverpool, and then people already get attraction for Mr. Semenyo, and also not forgetting Ikitike, who scored an assist in that match. So I think those are the 3 players already got that right, and potentially this could uh, get more
I think
transfer in for managers.
has not Chris Wood risen in price as well?
Is it okay? That's latest. Okay.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
so.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. You're right. Chris Wood also.
Mm.
So four players in total, right?
Yep. That's why I was doing that.
Oh,
Good,
okay,
good.
all right. So there's a lot, plenty of manager already reacted, and I feel there's some also citizen managers already said, okay, I think I believe in these players despite only one game. Later we you see some stats where the deck can also support your movement, but this player already on the bandwagon. They are the top five transfer in for this week so far.
I think I can accept that if, let's say, you're doing a cross the line transfer where a 5.5 asset and then you're selling it for Rangers, for example, because if that's the only transfer you want to make, you're gonna definitely you don't have any funds to do that. So yeah, I'm okay with that, I guess. But of course, you still have to weigh that risk. If any of your other key players gets injured, then you have a problem.
Right. Maybe some of managers, unlike your Sammy, you want to go aggressive, right? The early season, you just want to take that chance, get that team value players, so then you can rise your team value, right? So those kind of things. I think maybe there is logic behind it, but also we need to be careful. I think that's the most important.
Yeah.
All right, maybe we take a look at our team, how we did in game week one.
Yep.
I think my first team first, 66 points I scored. And I believe the average point was somewhere 50, 51 or something like that. So definitely, I think both of us scored nearly the same points. And maybe just one or two players who just make that different, 1.56 million. Okay, nothing to worry at this early season because everyone is close to each other in terms of points. Later, the gap will soon we can see. So for my team, I did finalize my team where Cells in goals and Dubravka on the bench. And Dubravka surprisingly starts the game for Burnley against Spurs. So that means that we can say here that Dubravka is the number one keeper for Burnley. I think so. So then have Frimpong, Van der Ven, and Cucurella. The frustration part maybe I share on the Frimpong side because the owner I think around 20%, 30% many who own Frimpong like myself are gutted when Frimpong subbed up at the 59th minute. I didn't expect that, but later then Slot revealed that Frimpong did mention to him about his feeling some
Hamstring.
yeah, during the break. Okay, so then they decided to take out, but clearly Slot did not play FPL. So if no, he can feel the pain of all FPL managers why you want to sub him out at the 59 minute, right? So 1 point it is what it is. So I clearly already see here that potentially Frimpong can also be a rotation risk. But for now, he can stay. If I did not decide to go Frimpong, if I go to Virgil, so I could end up with 3 points, 1 point for appearance, 1 point, and then after that, concede 2 goals, and then he got that DC point, DEFCON point. So that's where VVD are strong in terms of point. Spurs captain clean sheet, and then so also for Chelsea, Cucurella got a 3 bonus point, but in the end, after revising the from the Monday match after Leeds and Everton conclude, only 8 points. We are in the same boat, man, because we own that player. In midfield, I think pretty much Salah, the captain. So 8 points. So you got 16. Kudus is the powerhouse in this midfield, 10 points, 2 assists, and I believe 2 bonus point. I just blank. Palmer, Rogers, Indaye, Aston Villa only drew with Newcastle near. Same for Watkins. But another man that I want to salute here, Chris Wood, when people are looking at Joe Pedro more, he decided to score 2 goals from 2 shots, I believe. So that's how Paka XG for Chris Wood. He doesn't need so much chance. When he got that one chance, he will bury that. So I think Chris Wood continue his fine form from last season. I am thankful that he also saved my week with that 13 points. So that is my team. Konza red card on my bench. He's not coming in. Steve only 1 point, and Mark Gay did not turn up at all.
I think the thing with Forest is that you saw the preseason where they were keeping clean sheets but not scoring any goals, and we use this as a because to think that okay, maybe I shouldn't take Chris Wood, and I didn't. So in the end, but then once again we managed to forget. So what? Because Forest throughout the season, last season, the XG was horrific, was one of the worst in terms of your attempts made. But then when Wood gets the ball, he finds the way, and congratulations for you. Shame you didn't captain him. Would have been awesome, but but you Forest once again showing that you're not to be underestimated. Also, it was a quite bad luck for them conceding it and making Sales lose his clean sheet. But Wood is the man, and I want to do a special mention to Kudus, who I had been bad mouthing about throughout the preseason, saying that it's gonna be hard to justify, and I did watch a couple of streams, post streams after Game Week 1, and they're still questioning whether or not Kudus has the ability to sustain and actually score goals. I think one of the argument is saying that we don't want an assister. We want someone who scores goals. Hey,
Fair.
I want someone who scores points. That's so I'm brave enough to admit at the moment it looks like I'm wrong about Kudus, but I also give credit to Thomas Frank and figuring out the team and how it works lah. Although I don't think anyone expected Richarlison to brace, so that's a thing.
Because
So
because Richardson could potentially share minute with Solanke, which that happened. But
I just want to show the Frimpong thing fine because the hamstring issue. Of course, you don't want to delay it. But it didn't explain those of us who had Kirkes who also
oh,
got taken out. There was it solidarity with his fellow fullback for having injury. So let's take them both out, and it might be a word of warning to Slot because they were on clean sheets before that, and after
yeah,
they take these two out, then suddenly they started conceding. So some might be hesitant about taking Kirkers out so quickly in the future. Yeah, I hope
uh,
Frimpong's fit though, but yeah, let's see.
oh, okay. If it's not fit, then there will be some thoughts that I need to make for this week because, as you all know, Konza been red carded. I'm probably going to play as Steve later, but if Frimpong injury might
But
might
but your
push me to
team will
go.
look, yeah, then your team will start to look very bare
Yeah.
because Gui didn't even see a single minute at either. So yeah, it's gonna
We'll
be
talk
a
about our team pick later. Let's
yep.
go to your team main. You scored 62 points, like we mentioned. I think the difference for our team is like Kudus scored 10 and Andiga scored 6 points. Everything right. I think the rest was the same.
Yeah, everything else is equal. Haaland, who cost so much more than Wood, but scored the same number of points. But yeah, we both had Cucurella and Adingra. Really was just Adingra that was the difference because Saka, my expensive player, blanked, but so did your Palmer, also blanking. Just getting off the extra point for the clean sheet. Uh, I'm looking at this and I just realized that we only have three common players: Cells, Salah, and
Okay.
Cucurella. And okay, fine. On the bench, you have Dubravka and Mark Gui, but I didn't realize how different our teams were. And arguably, I think both of us were playing safe. We weren't being too crazy with our picks. At least I don't think I was. I think I was playing pretty safe. None, n- none of the my okay. The only one who was totally outfield was Harvey Barnes for me. Yeah, I was looking at the track record with scoring against Villa, thinking he would do the same. Unfortunately, they decided without Isaac, they seemed to blank. So then blank it turned out to be. Yeah, but I'm okay with my team. Although I do have question marks over Doof and Fulcrook, whether or not they will, are they going to be worthy of their spot in my team? Because I need to look at the West Ham and see because the reports that I've read is that their midfield was non-existent. Yeah, so I don't know. It makes me worry that I don't have Palmer and or Pedro, and they are up against Chelsea next. So we'll see whether or not they can wear
And
that out.
then we mentioned Diouf, the big scam, right? He's still taken from
Uh,
the website on the website.
Brandon, I'm happy to hold Doof in terms of that because looking at the doing an eye test, he was very adventurous and he was pushing further up forward. You know, it's just a shame that the defense line went down to hell. But I'm willing to wait and see with you. He won't be a priority transfer for me. If you were to ask me a priority transfer, it might be full crook. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So, but we'll see.
Give them another week. Mean, I think patient can also be a key in terms of
Al-
our.
Also, I mean, the other person wondering I should sell off now is Barnes. So let's see.
Yeah. I think the rest of thing looks. Yes, at least we have some Sunderland rep, which I don't think a lot of people have. I do like your team because not many managers have that Salah Haaland combo. And we did mention before we live stream just now, you have option because Salah and Haaland like they play home and away differently. Like Salah this week playing away, and you have option to captain Haaland this
Mm.
week at home. I think that's also can be an advantage. But your team also do not have Palmer and Saka could potentially a big differential this week against Leeds United. So I think not many will have Saka over Palmer. I can see.
Our chat line appears pretty active. I don't know if you want to pick up anything yet, but we
Uh,
go to your
there's
team.
Brandon said Palmer also headache, and you have Haaland. Yep, I think we can see jealous on that.
Yeah, but I had Saka, dude. So it does down it does the difference between Palmer and Saka will boil down to game week 2.
But Rakan Fia did mention maybe just scammer in game week one. But game week two, yeah, there's possibility they blank in game week one and game week two when all against their odds. People are scoring like the most transfer out right now is words. Who expect that, right? Because people we mentioned about 8.5 million players who potentially be a season keeper, suddenly only one game, right? So I still reserve my comment on whether words still. I think we have to see for the next few weeks. Give
Uh,
him time.
Brandon will when we talk about the matches later, we'll adjust some of these scammers and see whether or not they will continue to be scammed or will they come good. Thanks for
All right.
the opinion.
A quick one on captaincy game week one. Who are the most captain players? These are the top three. No surprise, Salah is the most captain by 3.6 million managers and scored only 8 points. He still returned despite only scored at the last minute and got one bonus point and one clean sheet point. But Haaland, 1.373 is the big winner with 1.3 million rewarded by 13 points, 2 goals, 3 bonus points. And then the disappointing part, whoever Captain Palmer on the top three, 900,000 blanks with only 3 points. And I almost Captain Palmer and I decided what to go different, but pretty much Salah still return 5 points different for Palmer if you brave enough to Captain Palmer this week. So, main, this is a starting season, and you can see Salah Haaland rivalry are going to pick up.
Yeah, I guess the thing is I just went for safety by captaining Salah because of the fact that he has never blanked in game week 1. Hey FPL hippie. And of course there's something called the hot hand fallacy which I mentioned in Blue Sky where um in basketball just because you keep hitting shot goes in, doesn't mean the next one will. But with Salah's game week 1 record, I'll just captain Salah, don't risk it and try something different. Of course, Haaland scored well and did better, and I think he's determined. It looks maybe he's determined to make up for last season's ups and downs. And the way he scored the first goal was just total chill. Be there in the right place, right time. That's exactly what Haaland is and Haaland does. No fancy mancy. And when he took it, he just went off like cool. This is what I
Yep.
do. And
Yep.
that swagger is there, so I'm happy to have him. And obviously it costs a lot more than would, but it does give me extra captaincy options.
Yep. I think I like that option because I think last season I do believe we try to fit these two players and they play around with the rest. But this is a bit different because maybe last time Haaland 15, Salah 12.5. Now they are more closer in terms of price, 14.5 and 14 million. So there's potentially if you try to fit in, it could disrupt the balance of your team. But like we can see Azmin team just now, you have option. I think that's the most important thing. And Muhammad Azri, Assalamualaikum, Waalaikumsalam, Haaland Captain GW2. We will discuss that on the captain pick later for this GW2. All right, that's on the captaincy. Quickly on the team of the week and what's the result for match day one. As you can see, I think Azmin already mentioned the big result for the promoter side. Sunderland win big at home, 3-0 against West Ham. And then at the same time, Leeds United won on Monday night match against a good side also in terms of defense, which is Everton. The blockbuster match, Manchester United and Arsenal, end up a close tie in terms of scoreline. But later, when we look at some stats later, you can see that United also potentially could get something from that game. Other than that, Man City cruised away despite away to Wolves 4-0 and Haaland played a big part. And as you can see, team of the week, Daniel Ballard, 70 points because he scored and keep a clean sheet for Sunderland, 3 against West Ham. So kudos to him, player of the week. The rest double digit. David Raya, who, yes, we did mention about his price tag, 5.5. Does he worthy to bring in at 5.5? Maybe not. But after seeing that 10 points, maybe he could be into our consideration. Calafiori scored a goal and kept a clean sheet for Arsenal, win against United. So 13 points there. Rico Lewis, you also get an assist, I believe, a clean sheet for Man City. In midfield, we did mention about Semenyo, 2 goals against Liverpool. Kudos, 2 assists for Spurs. Reinder is the one that people are looking at, the poster boy that people are doing it. 1 goal, 1 assist. And I thought he could score more than 10 points, but it's because he got yellow card. O'Reilly, maybe more attention to the likes of Minte, Rutter, but O'Reilly at 4.5 million, he also take some corner kick duties and he also the penalty taker for Brighton if you decide. 5.5 million, you can see Ryder, O'Reilly, Anderson, like so that could also give you some value. And up front, Richarlison, who scored 2 goals, wonderful goals, Chris Wood 2 goals, and Haaland. So that's why every one of the forward lineup got 13 points altogether. From this team of the week, what can you summarize in terms of who that we should pay attention?
Uh, as much as I don't like assuming that these things are can do, I did take a look at the City match and Rangers was looking good. He seemed to be involved in so many of the attacks and always and central. And he's not a young guy, and I think that helps. He's had his experience and he knows what he needs to do. And I didn't pick him because he's one of the newcomers to the team, and I was a bit worried. Is it possible Pep might bench him first? As he integrates him, but he has played a few matches. Yeah, so Rangers definitely deserves to be on the list. Um, the Richarlison is a bit of a problem because obviously you got Solanke there, and are they gonna end up sharing time, or is Richarlison gonna go to the left instead? Because he might go to the left actually because Johnson is not that will not be that great. But the thing is, Johnson did come in and score anyway. But Johnson on the left wing is not great, so maybe Richarlison can go to the left and um Solanke goes up front. I don't know, but it's for me the uncertainty means I'll stay away for now. Kudus looks like he's secured that spot, so you can definitely put him. The only other person I do want to mention is uh Ballard, and he's at 4.5, so it's still affordable if you want to pick him up. It's just not a 4.0. But of course, you have to decide whether or not Sunderland's win against West Ham was just a fluke and they're gonna all collapse after, or will they do well? I think Ballard will. I think Sunderland will be better. I think they
Mm-hmm.
have built properly and strongly. They know what their priorities are. So I think it's worth looking at him. But sorry, I do want to mention a soft spot for Semenyo, your guy. Uh, totally overturning the odds against Liverpool and scoring 2 goals. And whoever picked him is great because now he has such a good. Not with the Liverpool match over, Bournemouth have a great um fixture run for now. Yeah. So yes, Brandon, credit to Spurs, and so what we got to see now against City, they have a nice big test against City.
Right. So Brandon
I
thinks
saw
that
that. I saw that FPLP. Sure. Yeah. Burnley look toast at the moment. So it really is a problem. I mean, I'm looking at my Dubravka in my team and wondering, is that going to be a useless second keeper? Because at the moment, that's what it looks like. So, so yeah, autumn, spring, winter. Yeah, we've got to see all that. I'm just glad I didn't go for any other cheap ones in the Burnley lineup. Um, yeah. So yeah, that's it.
so in terms of Liverpool, is it a worrying because they concede 2 goals, or do you think it's just a matter of time Liverpool come back in strong in terms of the defense side?
I'm I'm not too worried, to be honest. I do think, obviously they had they were on clean sheets until the substitutions. At the same time, we were missing Gravenberg, who I feel is very important against strong attacking sides. Um, but and of course with Words around, because Words isn't really a defender type, and Words is basically was playing Zoboslai's role, and Words in terms of creativity fine, but in terms of defensive, Zoboslai does a lot more defensively when he was in Words' role, so they need to adapt and change that. Yeah, but at the moment I'm not too worried, and I do think Words will come good anyway.
Okay, great. Aston Villa end up only near Newcastle. Newcastle without Isaac, they do look strong despite Isaac did not play. Aston Villa kind of
Newcastle had so many chances but just couldn't
yeah,
finish. It's crazy. I saw a lot. Harvey Barnes passing to Gordon so many times, and every people shot Gordon, just he's just not a striker. I think this has always been doomed to failure. They need a striker there. So whether it's going to be Wissa, or or if Isaac stays as some miraculously, I don't know. But Gordon doesn't fit the front row.
yeah.
Sorry.
Can you imagine if they say Newcastle has Isaac? I think pretty much because I just read in terms of XG for that game, Aston Villa only point 0.2 and Newcastle should have scored a goal with 1.43 after that match. So they
Definitely.
yeah,
If it was Isaac up there, he would have scored. He would have made those chances count. It was just, it's easy to say it in hindsight, but we saw with Newcastle without a proper striker what they're missing.
betul ke
17, Brian. I didn't see that. Is that real for real? Because
betul ke?
I
But
know he
for
had a
his
lot.
counts,
Uh,
but
but
we do know Konsa red card is because Gordon outpacing him and then
yeah.
Konsa just drag him down.
Hi, William. By the way, Brian. Welcome to the
Right.
stream. I didn't see you were there. Oh,
All
my
right.
stream's hanged.
Yeah, your screen. But we can
Okay.
hear you loud and clear. Other than that, I think disappointing on the Chelsea side. My team against Crystal Palace, we do thought that Chelsea could get some goals against Crystal Palace, but decided that Palace should have scored a goal because only disallowed by VAR because something about rule in terms of the players against the goals. And at the same time, Eze did score that goal. If not, then Palace could sneak a goal and Chelsea lost that clean sheet. Frustrating for João Pedro owner. I can see a lot mentioned about João Pedro, what to do with João Pedro now. I think we already gone through the situation that there's this can be a possibility. Joe Pedro blank, luck coming in. Then next week we just don't know. But I think maybe for these next 3 weeks before the international break, since you already have Joe Pedro, you stick with him because that's the decision that you already made.
Yeah, I mean, so this is the part. This is the scenario I don't want to be in. Chelsea not able to score, and then Pedro gets subbed out for Delap, who coincidentally still doesn't score either. So we may well see a second. In game week 2, I predict that Pedro will still start, and then see what happens. But if Pedro does start and still doesn't score, and Delap comes in, whether or not he scores, then game week 3 it starts to look really iffy. You know, if Chelsea's still not scoring, something needs to change after 2 matches, and you would think that Delap would be the easy choice in terms of they needed some a change, because if they're not scoring goals, striker lah. That's the first part that you're looking at. You know, you'll hold the striker responsible. So I'm just glad I'm not part of that issue.
Yeah. So we have option like I think I don't know before the price riser you this think that you want to shift out João Pedro for Chris Wood. If you already did that, maybe. But I think you can still be patient and see. But you already committed to that move, right? Unlike if they say you're in this Reinder position because he's still 5.5 million, 5.6 right now.
Mm.
Main Man City for near, so seeing that Haaland perform Reinder looks like they could be back in terms of their normal growth and could City the asset that we should watch more in terms of me.
Yeah, City is looking good lah. To be honest, yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. He's fit, so I'll give you that. It's
All right.
Let's see if Rudolph performs next.
We take a look at some numbers. I think just a quick one. All stats gathered from Fantasy Football Scout members area. So if you like this kind of statistic, I do persuade you to join as a member, and then you can see on your own in terms of what kind of stats that you want to see. I think in terms of goal attempts for the team, I might be surprised that Manchester United on top. They actually have most total attempts with 22 against Arsenal. So I think figures don't lie. So United and Leeds United are top 22 shots, 21 leads. Chelsea also have a lot of shots, but no goals, like you mentioned. Then we have Liverpool also among the top, and Newcastle already mentioned 16. If they say golden 17, macam tak kena lah pula, alright. So
Yeah.
but Newcastle 16, Spurs also on top into 16, City are there. I think I also surprised Burnley have a lot of shots for Spurs, despite they end up not scoring and lose 3-0 against Spurs. So that could be among some that we should watch out. You worry about West Ham? They also have total attempts in terms of 12. In terms of the bottom, I'm surprised Villa only have 3 attempts only for the rest of the game, but that's how bad it is. So that can also deter some managers to go to any Villa assets for now. But in terms of inside the box, I think most is United and then Liverpool with 15 from that total attempts. Then Spurs and Leeds United. Leeds United, yeah, maybe it's only one game, right? And against Everton. Maybe after this against Arsenal, it will give more better picture, right?
Yeah, I will grab better picture, but Aston Villa playing at home, that's just shocking stat. You know, 3 goals, 3 shots only. That's I just don't understand it at all. Um, Manchester United having the most shots, so I don't know. I mean, it testament to Arsenal's defense. They organized well, and managed to not make any of those shots turn to goals. But as a result, I do like Manchester United's team, how it is at the moment. It's so different from Just of course it's just one game, but it's so different from what we saw of United last season, where most of the shots were probably done by Bruno. Then there's not a lot of shots at that. Now they've got Mbuemo, they've got Cunha, all not shy and all working well. It just didn't translate into a goal. Sesko, of course, didn't start, but he came on because uh, they just need a proper striker up front. Mason Mount as a false nine just isn't going to work for them. So I'm really looking forward to see how United perform with Sesko up front. I think the next match is against Fulham. So yeah,
Mm.
Leeds 21 shots. Yeah, that just as much as like to credit that to Leeds, but I think I have to discredit Everton for letting that happen because I think that Everton were just rubbish. I saw some few and it just looks like they are a bit clueless at the moment. Of course, the penalty was a bit controversial, but never whatever the case, it doesn't affect these shots.
I didn't see the
Uh,
highlights.
so Chelsea and Newcastle having top five in terms of shots, and together with Manu, Chelsea, Newcastle all top five for shots, yet none of them scored a goal. So that is a bit worrying. They need a clinical striker, so let's see what happens. In United, they do have Sesko to start, and Newcastle, well, they need to find one. But Chelsea already have the team. They're not going to buy any other striker, are they? Are they happy? Because this is Chelsea we're talking
I,
about.
I I don't think so. As much you think that people Chelsea has money or money to buy, I think they should temper their buying
Yeah,
and then see whatever that you have and just make sure the player that who in the team right now perform.
and the other thing, so I was ready to write off Burnley immediately just now you asked, and then but now I'm looking at it, they have managed quite a good number of shots, 14 against Spurs. So even though none of them translate to goal, they still managed to create those shots. So I
I
got
think
to
that
relook
that
that.
Burnley versus Sunderland this week, I am also keen to see how that will pan out.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Sunderland had much less shots, but they were more clinical, I guess you could say that.
Let's go to players in terms of goal attempts from that teams who are among the top now in total. I think uh, at least Brian is correct in terms of total attempts. Gordon, but it's only 7 in
Not
total.
seven lah. Yeah.
Top, okay. But then after that, who? Eze and then Haaland. So it's justified in terms of why Haaland is should be in this conversation because he's among the top in terms of total attempts shared with Eze. And then after that, Charleston maybe against Burnley, so he has chance. But Mbomo is interesting one. From Manchester United, he also has 5 attempts at his game. Arsenal, 4 inside the box. So there's potentially a good XG for Mbomo if these numbers are continue. I think that's one to consider. Burnley we did touch main. Anthony is among the top players who do goal attempts, 4 and 3 inside the box. I can see here Balat's the player of the week, also among the tops against West Ham, 4 attempts and 4 inside the box. So most probably jump into the penalty box during corners and so on in that position. Bowen, if you own him, I think the stats says he's still okay with 4 attempts. Despite not changing. Ikitike on the net, at least he also can see in terms of numbers for shots and 3 inside the box. After that, Palmer, so he has some shots, maybe it's not translated to goals, but for maybe still consider at least he has that numbers. Cunha, your player, okay. Well, there is also some attempts. So Cunha, Bomo, these stats can say that maybe potentially when Manchester United players are gelling nicely, they could find at the back of the net. So, which one interests you, mate?
Oh, definitely Betis Cunha. Of course he has one less shot than Mbuemo, but notice that all his shots were in the box and on target. That's you gotta like that the way that
Mm-hmm.
looks. You see, for Betis Cunha. So I like that and really looking forward to getting the timing right to bringing him on the team. So that will be a challenge for me as I see how to make space. I think it's funny that Salah isn't even on this list. That just goes to show it's Salah
Ooh,
efficiency, and let's do it. Guess Do you see who else is it in on this list?
Uh, sorry, Arsenal player, is it?
No. Um, he did well last week, but he's not on this list.
Okay, Chris Wood.
Exactly. Yeah. See, so you want these efficient guys. I get a few attempts. If I can make it into goals, that's all I need. See, he got 2 goals. He's not even an assist. Basically he had 2 shots and 2 shots on target and scored a goal. That's basically what he did. So well done, Chris Wood. Um, I do want to point out Strand Larson though. Even playing against City, we still managed
Mm,
4 shots and 2 were
yep,
on target. So I like that. Those of us who have him, I would
yep.
recommend just holding because he is the focal point for Wolves now, and pretty much everyone's going to try to get the ball to him, and he is desperate to score. Now he now knows that the team is depending on him totally in terms of goal scoring. So definitely it's a good hold. I'm worried about Palmer, but it's not too worried. But I'm not expected because yeah, he had 4 shots, but none were on target. It's
Right.
quite
Your
damning
player
there.
is them in Harvey Barnes. 3 attempts, 2 inside the box. So at least in terms of that,
Yeah,
he's good.
he's there, just not efficient. It's so annoying. But Harvey Barnes, in terms of, he did have a quite a few passes to Gordon. So most of those shots by Gordon were created by Barnes. So which is why I liked it. I was really keen to bring him and hoping he score. But now that he didn't, then I'm a bit worried about the risk because I did take him as a punt, but because Newcastle's still figuring out the structure, who they're gonna start, if in terms of striker. On this performance, I would think that Harvey Barnes will still start next one, but it is against Liverpool. So yeah, we'll see what I
Uh,
decide there.
I just want to touch. Brandon did mention about Diouf a bit scam, but in terms of stats, Diouf we can see there. He has 3 shots. And
Yeah, he
one
did.
is
He did
so
actually manage shots. So
he put
if you
some good numbers there. Right?
if you like the attacking stat, yeah, I mean I like it.
And yeah, so you can see there among here is like forward and midfielders, not so much in terms of defense, but Diouf is in the mix. Also Ballard, right? 4.5. Other than that, uh,
Yeah.
I'm not sure Starch whether a Leeds United defender, but the rest looks like Delight from Manchester United also here. So 3 attempts
No,
and
but Ballard's crazy. So it's actually all of that is almost set pieces. You got 4 total, all in the box, all headers, and two half 50% were on target. It's insane. So he's got to be a set piece
so much.
powerhouse.
If yes, and also just point out, Sunderland has the best first 6 fixture anyway. When we look at the fixture ticker, so maybe that can also play around in terms of whether to decide some of these players can worth it to bring in or not. I think I just want to mention that.
That's why I tripled up on Sunderland, baby.
In terms of creativity, distribution, chances
I like this
created,
one.
Bruno Fernandes is still the king despite blanking against Arsenal, but the number is still good. Bruno Fernandes is still the playmaker for Manchester United. Who else? Cullen from Burnley, nice, interesting at 5 million.
Mm.
So he also produced. Kudus, we did mention, he's produced 2 assists, and
And
because
there's my
he has
Harvey Barnes.
at the fourth place, man. So
Yeah.
looks like he's good in terms of numbers, creativity, and also goal attempts.
Yeah. Yep, that's right. Love those stats. Love goals more.
Right. Who else? Bernardo Silva. Not so much people are mentioning him. He's the captain, the new captain for Man City, and he has potential assists for chances created, and 2 of it is big chances. Who else? Gakpo. I think Liverpool players who also under radar. He also have some potential assists, and we do see his numbers in terms of attempts also quite good. So Gakpo can, in terms of XGI, I think can be a good player. For Liverpool, you cannot afford the likes of words. Right. What do you think, mate?
Yeah, the thing with Gakpo is he was talked about a lot as an alternative to Salah. It's because remember after the Community Shield, a lot of people were thinking, Salah is he really the best option? Maybe I can go without. So I think there are plenty of people who went with Haaland, and but still wanted Liverpool player, but didn't want to spend too much. They ended up with Gakpo, and he did definitely score and did
Yeah.
like Salah at a fraction of the price. So well done to those who did. Question whether or not he can sustain it, and that's the real question because last season we saw that it didn't sustain. It looks like he may be the only person playing at left wing at the moment. So his place might be a bit more locked. But of course, let's see what happens if Isaac comes in, if there's any reshuffle there, especially. But the problem is Ekitike is looking really good.
Mm.
So
Yep.
is it
I
that
agree.
easy to just Isaac comes in, Ekitike gets dumped and benched? It doesn't seem fair. So I don't know.
But
Um,
I heard that if they say Isaac coming in, Ekitike will play as a number 10 on the left wing. I think that could be another option. Play together.
yeah, yeah. So other things I want to. I mean, there's only Harvey Barnes you can go on about. The thing with Bruno Fernandes is that he didn't appear in the first screen earlier. And that is the reason why I'm not so keen on him. If he's going to be the quarterback at the back there, so I just don't think at that price it doesn't seem worth to bring him. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Second match, they do have that play against Fulham, and
I think
we'll
we
see what
will
happens.
visit this statistic again after the game week 2 and see whether this trending is continue or some other assets are coming up in terms of numbers.
Yeah.
Also, we yeah.
Before you move to the next screen, I just want to find out. Yeah, Salah and Wood aren't here either. So okay, move on.
Oh man, is that a worrying sign? Is he still
They
looking
just they just
for
there
now?
for goals. No, no, no. Salah
Yeah,
does create. Yeah, it's just he didn't create much last week.
fair, fair. And we shall see some DEFCON points because I think also this is the theme of this year FPL players that contribute defensive contribution points. I think there's like 23 players who got that two DC points. Number one in terms of total uh, can I say take CP and CP. They mentioned Vinder is top. He rewarded regardless from the total numbers. All these
Yep.
players will they have two uh, points from the DefCon. Okay, and then at the same time, if you are a midfielder, you need 12. For defender, 10. So Tarkowski is here and he justified that 5.5 million despite Everton losing. So he got that two consistent that he's the among top DC point if let's say last year this is being introduced. Who else here that maybe at Nuri, I think someone maybe didn't expect. We expect him in
Yep.
terms of attacking more, but he actually get this defense GC points. Lacroix, I think someone did mention about Crystal Palace, so he also have. Saliba, when you talk about Saliba against Gabriel, I think Gabriel is not in this list. Saliba same points, so I think Saliba got that 8 points if I'm right. So that's why Saliba, despite he's not too much in terms of goal attempts, but he can give you this kind of point. All right. Who else here? Casado, yes. No surprise. He also among top midfielder if let's say TC point introduced last season. Are you going to go there for Chelsea asset? I don't think so because you might go for other players. Yeah. I know you're not in love with DC point, but this is what the people are looking at.
No. So basically, not not that. Well, yeah, I don't love it, but it will contribute to your points. I just don't look at it as a main reason to pick someone. Having said that, so it's quite surprising that Ait Nuri, who you mentioned, because I definitely considered him, and again, not for his DefCon, but for his attacking prowess. So for him to get 15 is quite amazing. But at the same time, it tells you that Wolves were not, despite the scoreline, Wolves were not that pushovers as they seemed. Yeah, so City did actually have to do a lot of defensive
Defending.
work, and Ait Nuri, and probably down that side, and Ait Nuri was having to do a lot of that work. So credit there, but definitely looking good. Of course, Guardiol didn't play, so
Mm.
I don't know whether there's any issues in terms of the his spot, but at the based on that match, he looks good. Um, so Arsenal, so you got Saliba and Odegaard turning up there, and Zubimendi. So that tells you, how Arsenal defensively looks so good now, especially with the addition of Zubimendi, who I've been flaunting quite a bit. And but so as we saw in the United shots, they attack quite a lot.
Yeah,
But with Saliba, Odegaard, and now Zubimendi all turning up for the defensive work, it's looking good for Arsenal. Um, the only for Liverpool only Van Dijk there, so
yeah. He is the one to
it,
go if they say you're
yeah,
thinking.
he's the one goal. Shame. I mean, this is the annoying bit, of course. Which, why do they have to limit that? As long as you go over 10, you get two. Should it be if you go double that, you get four? Every 10 increment, you get
I
two
think
more.
let them introduce this. If let's say people looking at, hey, maybe other interest, then next season maybe they can think of
Yeah,
it.
because I don't see why they can't do that, because it's not like there'll be a lot of players crossing that threshold. Yeah, but surprisingly, the second other player to cross that threshold was Tavernier, but he only caught 20, so he wouldn't get it because he's a midfielder. So
Yeah,
because
yes, you're right.
midfielders need 12. Yeah. So,
I agree.
but yeah. It's definitely interesting stat. You should definitely take it into account when picking up. Just for me, it shouldn't be the main reason. It should be the
Yeah,
additional reason
I
to
agree.
bring.
Subset to it when you're thinking a
Mm.
player, he has potential clean sheet and they can retain if they say, okay. And this
Yep.
is where if let's say Adnori can be considered because he also can produce a DC point, maybe
Yep.
now.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's an interesting stats. Thanks for. I'll be looking back at this slide a bit more.
Yeah.
Get some idea.
And
Well, not surprisingly, none of my players are here. So
I just want to point out, Balet also inside here. So definitely he's the one to
oh
go.
yes.
All right. Let's go to Game Week 2 fixture, man, because we already hitting
Yep.
our 1 hour mark.
Oh,
Game Week 2
almost there.
fixture, what fixture that people are looking at or interest the favorable fixture for this week? Another Friday night deadline, which it will start off with the London Derby, West Ham United, who lost 3-0 at Sunderland. So definitely like Harimau Luka at home, they want to impress in front of their crowd. That's against Chelsea. So we shall see how that will turn out. Then on Saturday, Man City versus Spurs. Wow, I think this really, really exciting to see because Spurs at the back of 3-0 Burnley, can they follow up with a good result against City, who also had a good outing against Wolves last week. And then Bournemouth, Wolves, then Brentford versus Villa, and then Burnley against Sunderland. Both are promoted side, and people are looking at whether Sunderland, if he wins against Burnley, then we can see potentially Burnley could be the whipping boys, and Sunderland could have some potential to survive in this league. And then we have Arsenal. This is also an exciting match, potentially a captain pick match against Leeds United on Saturday midnight kickoff. And then on Sunday, Palace versus Forest. We have Everton versus Brighton, and then we have Fulham versus Manchester United before we close up. Sayang. I thought this Newcastle and Liverpool should be the Super Sunday game, but they decided to play it on Monday. Then, some exciting matches, and which one do you look forward to?
Definitely um Crystal Palace versus Forest there looks really interesting. Because you got two teams that are playing above their expectations, and the problem with Crystal Palace is now it looks. I mean, I was reading that Eze might go to Spurs, so they may enter into that match less a lot less creativity. So for me, that's going to be a problem. So, but of course, I think they would manage to get someone in. We'll have to check that during the deadline. So that's why they're already ready to sell Eze. But of course, whoever that person is, it does need some betting in time, so it may not be as effective. Um, Obviously, West Ham versus Chelsea. Uh, we got one team expected to win but didn't, and West Ham also expected to win against a promoted side but didn't. So this is a London derby that could be very fun to watch. So I don't s- I can't see clean sheets on both sides. I think there'll be goals. It might be a bit chaos as well. Uh, we talked about the Liverpool Newcastle hitting to end that one. I think they put that separately just so that they could have more people controlling the match, more more authorities because it could be very very
Like we say lah, this match has the narrative, right? Because I said
yeah.
want to go to Liverpool, Newcastle doesn't allow it, and maybe Newcastle players you mentioned, they are raging because of this game, and then they want to try to perform against Liverpool.
Because I don't know if there's any Newcastle match. Is there possibility that Isaac might be sold before this
Oh,
match? I don't know. That would be something. And if it is, maybe because it could be to Liverpool, but I don't know. I don't know what. I haven't checked on the latest situation. It's just a bit overwhelming.
yeah,
The other one is Everton Brighton. Oh, gosh, Everton, one of the teams that lost to a promoted side, versus Brighton, who last minute equalizer, so they're really frustrated. So that could be a interesting match as well. But I do expect Brighton to win that one.
right. Maybe we just talk a bit in terms of captaincy.
Yep,
Later
let's
we
go.
talk. Later we talk about prediction points, but we just see from here
Yep.
on paper, can see that potentially Arsenal and Leeds could be the best captaincy because he's playing at Leeds United. If you have someone with Salah or Palmer both playing away, and I'm not sure, like myself, want to go for Palmer and Chelsea only goalless last week, and they play at early kickoff. Like you mentioned, if let's say Palmer blank, then you are going to face Saturday and Sunday up to Monday night, facing what possibility other captaincy pick will be. I'm not sure about Haaland against Spurs because Spurs perform, but he's still an option playing at home. And Liverpool away to Newcastle, I think that could be this nice fitting atau safest one because that will be the last game. If let's say Salah did not do anything, but at least the last game.
Well, the problem with the City Spurs match it is the early Saturday morning match, so that's always a, a factor. I'm sorry, call me superstitious, but it's always a factor for me, unless it's Salah, because he does the only one doesn't seem to be affected by that. You're right in terms psychologically. If Palmer blanks against West Ham, that's just a very long weekend for
Yeah.
you. Yeah, all the way to Salah in the Monday night.
Mm,
Um, Salah has good chances to captain. Obviously Newcastle's midfield are really strong, but it's going to be a fiery match. So in a fiery match, chaos can happen and anything can happen. Um, Arsenal versus Leeds before game week one, this was that's auto captaincy for me, and then suddenly you see Leeds winning also. So both
mm,
came are coming into this match with 1-0 wins, both of them. So obviously Arsenal at home, so you expect them to win the leads. It just might not be so simple, but I think I think I think Arsenal will trash Leeds. I think Leeds winning against Everton is because of Everton, not so much as Leeds. Sorry, Leeds fans. Yeah, but if I don't know who has Arsenal players.
we shall
Gyökeres,
see later, right?
Saka.
Oh, go correct,
Yeah,
go correct. All
yeah.
right, let's see in terms of points prediction from Fantasy Football Hub members area. Definitely, if you're interested also to see this kind of visual and stats, Fantasy Football Hub also can offer you this. And you can see here, will you be surprised that top two players predicted to score high in game week 2 is Saka against Leeds United and Salah despite playing away to Newcastle, 7.3. And after that is Haaland at home. He scored the brace, so that could justify it. Palmer at fourth, I'm not sure, 6.4. But Gyökeres, another potential Arsenal player that you could go because he is among the top five to score big this game week 2. So Arsenal player main Saka is your player. So are you thinking of it?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's just the news coming out that Gyökeres will be supposedly is going to be the penalty taker for Arsenal, so that reduces Saka's appeal a bit. But But I don't think Arsenal scored that many penalties, got that many penalties last season anyway, so it's not really a big factor for me. No. Brian, if you have Cunha, go Captain Cunha. Otherwise, forget it. Um, okay, Evan Nilsson. So Evan Nilsson is a really interesting one. Bournemouth do play Wolves, so I think there's definitely a case to be made. Having said that, it's a bit just too risky for me, I guess. That I want to go with someone with true goal scoring pedigree, and um, I just I just wouldn't. I don't know who else you have in your team, but it's hard for me to recommend Evan Nilsson over players like Saka or even Salah. Yeah, I still think Salah is going to come good. It's just so far. So yeah,
Okay.
so I just like to say how chuffed I am that I got three players who are all in the top five captaincy: Saka, Salah, and Haaland.
Good.
So yeah, but let's see.
So you're looking at maybe there's potential, right? Saka
Yeah,
rather than
definitely.
Salah. Good, good, good.
Yeah. So I guess though whoever does this is by Hub, is it Fantasy Hub? So the
Yeah.
prediction for Hub is probably assumes that Leeds United just aren't it's just a one-off against Everton. So yeah, I haven't seen his hair, Brian. So I need to take a look at that before I can comment.
I think if let's say you have any Arsenal players, you could tend to captain from that team this week against Leeds United, who we do feel, despite winning against Everton, I think Arsenal is still a stronger side, a better side. So then
I
Arsenal could win big.
Yes, and I know they only just won 1-0, and they didn't have muster many shots against Manchester United, but it was at the Stadium Theatre of Dreams, and at home Arsenal is gonna attack a lot more. I think Leeds are just gonna get overrun.
Right, fair. I think let's go to our team. How we going to pick for this week? This is my team. Uh, no chip last week. I don't think I'm gonna play chip this week because I will have Konza. I think that Konza destroy my dream of thinking any potential BB this game week two. So then pretty much I won't be playing that. So sales in goal. I can see here a lot of my players are playing away this week. I didn't realize that, or except maybe two, because sales away. Frimpong, I play as Steve over Van de Ven because Van de Ven playing City away. I think that's the logic. And who knows, Burnley could keep clean sheet Sunderland. Cucurella, then Ndaye, Salah, Kudus, Palmer, Rogers. Kudus, 10 points. We just try your luck this week. Who knows? Against City, he could produce something. Watkins and then Wood on my bench. Dubravka could be an option. I think I can see that there's pattern of managers playing Dubravka over whoever their keeper, but I do trust Sels more. Despite maybe they could concede against Palace, but Sels in a better team. Konza suspended, VDV away to City, and Mark Gui, we are not sure whether he's going to play at all in Sunderland shirt just now. So this is my team. What's the difference? I play as Steve over Van der Ven. I think the rest stay the same. And for now, my captain pick is Palmer, but I need to rethink that.
Yeah, we got Konsa who's definitely suspended, and you really, yeah, Mark Gui, I can see him coming on as a sub. Yeah, so Sunderland won't want to shake out a winning team just yet. But with Mark Gui having the number 9 shirt, it's obvious that he is supposed to be a regular. But Mayenda, it wasn't doing well up until that goal. So it's possible, but the fact that he didn't see any minutes at all means that I can't see him even starting this week. So it'll probably be a sub as well.
Yep.
Yeah. So assuming you don't make any transfers, yeah, I can't fault that. I think at
Yep.
the last you do have VDV to come in should anyone randomly not make it. So just check because but if team news and someone does disappear, then you
Maybe
definitely
that
may
news,
need to.
if let's say Frimpong are not fit to play, that
Yeah.
will push me to make a transfer, but I'm not sure who I'm gonna go yet.
Yeah.
Probably I could take advantage of Nuri if let's say Guardiola suspected not starting again, and potentially he could be one to watch. I feel.
Mm. Yep, yep. Also be careful of Frimpong. I haven't checked the
Hmm.
uh price movements, but I don't know if there's a worry about Frimpong being sold because of the injury issue. So be
Okay.
careful you suddenly get priced out of RAN if that happens. Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
just want to
otherwise,
point
yeah,
out. I just want to point out. I thought Konza after that red card he could suspend it for 3 games, but it is not. It's just only for 1 game. So
one.
glad to hear that. So he has a chance in game week 3 to return. I think that's the positive side. All right, let's go to your team, man. You will definitely have a lot of option in terms of captaincy at least. Talk to me about your team.
Okay, so Cells, Pedro, Cucurella, Decoper, Diouf. Brandon, I think in the chat made an interesting point about it's Everton's first home ground match.
Yep, yep,
Uh,
yep.
but but I just can't see that having any change for Brighton. I think Brighton is Brighton's match to lose. Brighton have the better firepower, and I think they will do well. So I will still play the Kuiper. Uh, so the question is between Diouf and um, Renildo. So I do think I want to play Renildo. So I think I will sub Diouf off for
Okay.
Renildo. I'll put him as first sub at least. The other question is Arias, who definitely comes in for either Fulkrug or Barnes. So I need to decide whether or not West Ham are useless. If they are, then I'll sub off both my West Ham players
I think
for
Buzz did post some good stats, right? So maybe just give it a
exactly,
try.
exactly. So that's the point because even though they are playing against Liverpool, Liverpool have shown that they're not exactly bulletproof either. They've conceded 2 goals. Uh, I just hope if I put Barnes in, against my team that he will score. So, but at the moment, it looks likely that I will sub out both hammers, even though they are playing at home again with for Arias and Ronaldo. So I know Arias didn't start the last match; he came in as a sub, but I'm
Mhm.
quite confident that Arias will start the second match. Yeah, I think he'll be perfect. He'll be match fit and ready to go. And Ronaldo, because yeah, I mean obviously I bought 3 Sunderland players because of the fixtures. So Reynolds should definitely come in. So the only problem is Mark Gui would have immediately come in, but the fact that he didn't even get a single minute in game week 1 means I still leave him as a sub.
Okay, maybe we just pay attention when the presser come in, whether the Sunderland manager Libris is it going to mention about
And
potentially.
if he does, then I might put him Gui in for Pedro Porro. We'll see. It is a possibility there. Haaland captain.
Captaincy.
Yeah. Well, let's let me think see how the feels are there because I do think it's at home definitely Spurs can score but definitely City can score against Spurs especially at home and Haaland who I was previously worried about because no KDB no Rodri but they seem to be doing all right but it was against Wolves.
So in terms of captaincy, where you leaning?
Captaincy currently is on Saka actually, so yes I've gone for that. Yeah, I just feel that Arsenal will overrun Leeds, and I just hope that Saka will be at the heart of it all.
Right, great stuff. We take some question and then we wrap it up. Okay, I think just some quite interesting question at the front. Ronan McGrory did ask us, do you think start as Steve and Williams, I think Nico Williams, over VDV who playing City and Dave who play Chelsea? Maybe that's the logical thing to do, man.
Well, you are starting Esteve over Van der Ven, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah. So Nico Williams over Diouf, it does seem fair. To be honest, Diouf is an attacking guy. I saw the match and Diouf was quite further forward than most of the other defenders. And so he's clearly there to be more attacking. He was playing as a wing back. Yeah. So I'm having second. I'm I'm not 100% sure that I want to sub out Diouf. Yeah,
Fair,
but
fair.
over Williams, I'm not so sure. Yeah, but on the face of it, I think no, I would keep Van der Ven and Diouf.
Wow, interesting. Right. Azli did ask this. I just recap that. Harley Captain gave it two. Uh, I think it's a good option, right? We mentioned, so you can go there. There's no harm, right?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a good option. Haaland in form, you expect him to continue. That's what he does.
How about prospect Harvard starting against Leeds? I do believe Gorkers will be the number one, and Harvard will come in as a sub. So I don't think we should go there.
Gyökeres has had some time already in the squad. I think Gyökeres will start. I think if anything, Arteta will want to get the monkey off his back and let him score. And against a promoted side is one of the best ways for him to get to score. So I do think Gyökeres will start, not Havertz.
Who's a keeper cheap and good? After game we won, who do you think, man?
Oh,
Verbruggen almost kept a clean sheet, only last minute from Muniz.
cheap and good, because Cells isn't cheap enough. Because at 5 it's not
4.5,
considered cheap.
4.5 million, I suppose. 4.5
Yeah,
or 1.
even because I immediately thought of Henderson, but even Henderson is 5.0. He's not cheap. I guess if you want to Sunderland have good matchups, you can take a punt on the Sunderland
Ooh,
keeper. Yeah,
that's
so
a nice one. That's a nice one.
yeah, it's
Roy
something.
here. I think Roy is something, right?
Yeah, RR. He was called RR because it reminds me of my wife's whose initials are the same.
Okay,
I can't remember, Rofel or something. Yeah,
right,
so you might want to go there. That might be an option, but I can't
right.
see anyone else because Kelleher. No, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. At the end, Salah Halil Rafin, right? I think so. As we have both player, I do believe at this juncture, Salah Halil.
Uh, no, because I'm still at 2 million. So, but unless I just don't have the right players, yeah. No, I think I wouldn't say that. We're still even Stevens at the moment.
Azli asked, can use cheap BB game week too? Yes, you can do that if you have option. I do
Yeah,
believe, let's say, if let's say Konza can play this week, I might just roll that dice. We could come in for 1 pointer. I just accept it.
why though? Um,
Dubravka and Steve maybe the potential keeping clean sheet if you have those combo. I am not sure what
yeah,
his.
but you want Goyle to score against your Dubravka? What? But yeah, if your team is set up for it, and
Yeah.
then you have no injury, definitely no injury issues, then yeah, go ahead, by all means, go for the bench boost. I know quite a few people who played the bench boost in game week 1,
Okay.
and some really helped. I think got 20. I see one with 22 points, which I think is quite
Ooh,
decent. Yeah,
wow.
for the bench boost.
That's, that's too
But
good.
yeah,
Okay. Rakan IPF, Senesi or Anderson from Fulham. Interesting. Both at 4.5, I believe.
uh, Anderson, because Fulham's defense are better and more stable. Bournemouth is fresh.
Great. Chris Wood and Ryder trap for game week 2? I don't think so. I think there's merit to these two players.
I don't think so. I think, I know I don't have either of them, but I think they are solid and will continue to be decent.
Frimpong, stay or sell? I know I have that urge to sell, but I think give him one more chance. You just never know.
Yeah, wait for team news, because if there is an injury issue, then of course you sell. If otherwise, if he's fit, then I say keep.
Yeah. I think that's all, man. Continue. So we're coming to the end of the stream. It's been a good game week 1, at least in terms of points, but it's only game week 1. So if they say, I think we can see some people who scored 50 or maybe lesser than that, they are a bit frustrated. I understand,
Yep.
but
Yep.
it's still early. What do you think, man?
I think you really have to take a look at your team and see if your players are performing the role that they're supposed to perform, and were just unlucky. Because if they are not playing the roles that they will perform, that you thought they would be doing, then I think you should really consider selling them, even though it's only just one game week. I think we really have to look at it. I mean, for me, if a person in that position for me would be full crook, who even though he's playing the role, but then he's not doing much. And I was reading some commentary. I think at 44 minutes, one of the commentary was, okay, I just realized I have not mentioned Full Crook's name once
Oh
in the
my
past
god.
44 minutes. Which shows that he wasn't involved at all. So definitely is something to consider. But the on the other side of the spectrum is that I can bench him and still wait. So it is possible. So if you're not in that position to do that, of course, if someone's injured, definitely sell. If you really, really think that this player is not going to be useful for you, then I would suggest you sell. But for a person like Wirtz, I suggest you hold because I think he will come good with the proper defense behind it and the best midfield, which for me is Gravenberg and McAllister behind him. Wirtz will come good. So yeah, definitely keep Wirtz. But everyone else, yeah, you have to make that decision. No, I'm not opposed to you selling if you really think that you can't have a person anymore.
Right. Thank you all for watching. Do support us by hitting that like button and also subscribe to our FPL Jedi YouTube channel. And do join our league, mini league FPL Jedi Show. The code is here. League code zwxrhj. And Azmin did mention, whoever won this year FPL Jedi mini league, he will give a Lego set, right? Something like that, mean.
Yep, I'm just into Lego right now. I have two leagues running. One is our free FPL Jedi Show league. I'm also running a paid league as well. Also, but it's still Lego. So if you're into Lego, yeah, let me know and I'll hook you up.
Right. Thank you guys and hope to see you again. Until then, take care and bye bye.
Bye.